My 8-year-old sister had no parental controls and was watching disturbing content on YouTube. She posted videos of herself that got creepy comments from adults. She was telling strangers online personal information. Our mom didn't know. I'm 17 and trying to keep her safe, but I need help. I wasn't sure where to turn for help, but I'm 17 years old and I have an 8-year-old sister named Lily who I'm really worried about. She has her own phone and tablet, and neither of them have any parental controls or safety settings. What I've discovered over the past few weeks has kept me up at night, and I don't know what to do anymore. It all started when I borrowed Lily's tablet to look something up. My phone was dead, and I just needed to check a recipe for a school project. She'd left YouTube open, and as I went to close the app, something in her watch history caught my eye. The thumbnail showed an animated character in what looked like an uncomfortable position, and the title had the word wedgie in it. My stomach immediately dropped, but I told myself it was probably nothing. Kids watch weird stuff on YouTube all the time, right? But something made me keep scrolling, and what I found made me feel sick. There were dozens of videos in her history. Anime girl wedgie compilation. Wedgie challenge in real life. Best wedgie moments. Mixed in with normal kid content like Minecraft videos and slime tutorials were these videos that just felt wrong. I kept scrolling, my hands actually shaking, and found spanking videos too. Not the kind where a parent disciplines a child. These were different, weird, clearly meant to be something else entirely. And then there were those bizarre animated videos that had been all over the news, the ones that look like innocent kids' content, but have disturbing themes hidden in them. Lily had watched dozens of them. My 8-year-old sister had been watching this stuff, and apparently nobody had noticed. I sat there for a long time, just staring at the screen, trying to process what I was seeing. How long had this been going on? What else had she seen? And why hadn't our parents caught this? The answer to that last question was pretty simple. They were busy. Mom works 2 jobs since the divorce, and Dad lives 3 states away and barely calls anymore. I'm the oldest, supposedly responsible enough to not need supervision. Lily's the baby, the one who got a tablet to keep her occupied while Mom worked late shifts. Nobody was really watching what she was watching. I called Lily into the room, trying to keep my voice calm. When she bounced in, all energy and innocence with her hair and messy pigtails, I felt this overwhelming need to protect her. I told her I needed to talk about her YouTube videos. Her face immediately became guarded, and when I mentioned the wedgie and spanking videos, she got defensive. "Those are funny," she said. "Everyone watches them." When I asked who everyone was, she told me kids at school talk about them. My heart sank even further. It wasn't just Lily. Other kids were watching this stuff too, probably sharing links, making it seem normal. I tried to explain that those videos weren't appropriate for kids, but how do you make an 8-year-old understand that content can be harmful even if it looks innocent? How do you talk about the way some people create content specifically to exploit children's curiosity, to normalize things that shouldn't be normalized? She kept insisting they were just cartoons, that she liked them. I knew I had to do something more than just talk. I spent the next 3 hours going through both her phone and tablet. What I found made everything worse. Her YouTube account had absolutely no restrictions, no parental controls, no age verification. She had full access to everything on the platform, and the algorithm had clearly figured out what kept her watching. The recommended videos were a nightmare. More wedgie content, more spanking videos, weird ASMR videos that seemed designed to be suggestive, and those creepy animated videos with familiar characters doing disturbing things. Then I found something that made my blood run cold. Lily had her own YouTube channel. She'd been making videos and posting them publicly. Videos of herself showing her face, sometimes wearing shorts or tank tops, asking people to subscribe. She was doing challenges she'd seen other kids do, talking to the camera like she was talking to friends. The videos had views, not many, maybe 50 or 100 each, but they had views. And they had comments. I couldn't read all the comments. The few I did read made me want to throw up. There were grown adults commenting on an 8-year-old's appearance. People asking her age, where she lived, if she had other social media accounts. My baby sister had been putting herself out there for predators to find, and she had absolutely no idea what she was doing. I deleted the videos immediately. All of them. Then I made the channel private, and then I deleted the entire channel. Lily watched me do all this, getting increasingly upset. "Those are my videos. I worked hard on those," she protested. I tried to explain that she couldn't post videos of herself online because it wasn't safe, but she argued that other kids do it. I told her that other kids have parents who monitor their accounts and make sure they're safe, and that she didn't have that protection. She got angry and said I wasn't her parent and couldn't tell her what to do. She was right, technically. But I was the only one paying attention, so I had to step up. I set up YouTube Kids on her phone, using one of my own Google accounts so I could monitor it. I showed her how to use it and explained that this was the version she needed to use from now on. Of course, she complained that YouTube Kids was for babies. I told her it was for kids her age, that regular YouTube was for teenagers and adults. She said all her friends use regular YouTube, and I made the mistake of saying that meant their parents weren't doing their jobs. Her face crumpled and she asked if that meant Mom wasn't doing her job. I immediately regretted my words and tried to backtrack, explaining that Mom was doing her best but was really busy, and that's why I was helping. She didn't look convinced, but she stopped arguing. I thought I'd solved the problem. I really did. I thought setting up YouTube Kids and deleting her videos would be enough. Then I remembered she had a tablet too, and my heart sank all over again. The tablet was worse. Lily had figured out that I'd restricted her phone, so she just switched to using her tablet for everything. And the tablet had no restrictions at all. She was right back on regular YouTube within hours of me setting up her phone, watching the same videos, probably finding new ones the algorithm recommended. When I confronted her about it that evening, we went in circles for 20 minutes. She was stubborn, and I was exhausted. I'd spent hours trying to make her devices safe, and she'd found a workaround in less than a day. I realized I needed to take a different approach. I made a deal with her. She could watch some regular YouTube, but only channels I approved, and I would check her history every day. If I saw anything inappropriate, she'd lose YouTube privileges entirely. She asked what would happen if she accidentally clicked on something bad, and I told her to tell me immediately so we could talk about it. I explained that I wasn't trying to punish her, just keep her safe. When she asked what I was keeping her safe from, I struggled to find the right words. How do you explain internet dangers to an 8-year-old without terrifying her? I told her there were people online who weren't nice, people who might try to trick her or hurt her. I explained that there was content that might seem fun, but was actually designed to make her think about things she was too young to think about. She was quiet for a moment, then admitted that the wedgie videos made her feel weird sometimes, but she kept watching them because they were funny. That was exactly what I was talking about. If something makes you feel weird, that's your brain telling you it's not right for you. She agreed to try using YouTube Kids more, which wasn't a perfect solution, but it was progress. A few days later, I was playing Roblox with Lily. We did this sometimes. It was one of the few games we both enjoyed, and it gave me a chance to spend time with her while keeping an eye on what she was doing online. We were building a house in some creative mode when Lily said she wanted to show me her friend. I asked what friend, and she told me she'd made a friend on Roblox named Emma who was really nice. She navigated to a different server where another player was waiting, and then Lily typed in the chat, "Hi, Emma. This is my brother Ryan." My blood ran cold. I told her to log out immediately, and she was confused and a little scared by my tone. When she logged out, I explained that she couldn't tell people online about me, or how old she was, or where she lived, or anything personal. She protested that Emma was her friend, that Emma had told her she was 10 and lived in California. I asked if she really believed that, and Lily looked confused about why anyone would lie. How do I explain to an 8-year-old that people lie on the internet all the time? That Emma might not be a 10-year-old girl from California at all, but could be a grown man pretending to be a child to gain trust. I explained as gently as I could that people sometimes lie online, that they pretend to be kids when they're actually adults because they want to hurt kids or get information about them. Lily's eyes went wide and she insisted Emma wouldn't do that. I told her she didn't know for sure, and that's why she couldn't share personal information with anyone online, even if they seemed nice. She asked how she was supposed to make friends then, and I told her she makes friends in real life, at school, at the park, at activities. Online friends aren't real friends. She looked so sad that I almost took it back, but I couldn't. Her safety was more important than her feelings. I started asking her questions about internet safety, trying to gauge what she knew. When I asked if people ever asked her age online, she said yes, and that she found it weird but lied to them, telling them she was older. At least she had some instinct for self-preservation, but it wasn't enough. I told her that if someone asked her age online, she shouldn't answer at all. She should block them and tell me. She asked what if they were just curious, and I explained that it didn't matter. Adults shouldn't be asking kids their age online. It's a warning sign that tells you a person might be dangerous. I spent the next hour teaching her about internet safety. Don't share your real name. Don't share your age. Don't share where you live, what school you go to, what your parents do for work. Don't share photos of yourself. Don't accept friend requests from people you don't know in real life. Don't click on links people send you. Don't download anything without asking me first. She listened, but I could tell she didn't really understand why all these rules were necessary. To her, the internet was just a fun place to watch videos and play games. She couldn't conceive of the dangers lurking there. I wished I could keep that innocence for her, but I couldn't. The internet had already taken some of it away. About a week later, I heard Lily singing in her room. At first, I didn't pay attention. She was always singing Disney songs, pop songs, made-up songs about her stuffed animals. But then I caught the words, and I burst into her room, telling her to stop immediately. She jumped, startled, asking what was wrong. I asked where she'd heard that song, and she said YouTube, that it was funny. I told her it wasn't funny at all, that it was a very bad word she should never say. She protested that the people in the video were saying it, and I had to explain that it didn't make it okay. I asked if she knew what racism was, and she shook her head. How do you explain racism to an 8-year-old? How do you explain centuries of oppression and pain and violence in a way that makes sense to a child? I told her that racism is when people are mean to other people because of the color of their skin, and that the word she was singing was used to hurt black people. It's a really bad word that she should never say. She pointed out that the people in the video were black, and they were saying it. And I had to explain that sometimes people who have been hurt by a word reclaim it as a way of taking power back. But that doesn't mean everyone can use it. White people especially should never use that word because it's not our word, not our pain, and using it hurts people. She was quiet for a moment, processing, then said she didn't know and apologized. I told her I knew she didn't know, that's why I was telling her now, but she couldn't sing that song anymore. I made a mental note to go through her YouTube history again. That night, after Lily was in bed, I tried to talk to Mom about everything. She came home from her second shift at 11 at night, exhausted and barely able to keep her eyes open. I made her a cup of tea and sat her down at the kitchen table, telling her we needed to talk about Lily's internet usage. She sighed and said she was really tired, asking if it could wait. I told her no, it couldn't, and asked if she knew what Lily had been watching online. She assumed it was kid stuff, cartoons. I had to tell her about the inappropriate content, the wedgie videos, the spanking videos, the weird animated stuff. And then I told her about the YouTube channel where Lily had posted public videos of herself, videos that had comments from adults asking her age and where she lived. Mom's eyes widened in shock. She put her head in her hands and said she didn't know, that she thought YouTube was safe for kids. I explained that it's not without parental controls, and that Lily's tablet didn't have any restrictions at all. Mom admitted she didn't know how to set those up, that she barely knew how to use her own phone. I told her I could help, but that she needed to be checking what Lily was doing online, monitoring her accounts. She said she knew she should, but she was so tired from working 2 jobs and trying to keep us afloat that she barely had time to sleep, let alone monitor everything Lily did online. I felt sympathy for Mom. She really was doing her best. But her best wasn't enough to keep Lily safe. I told her I would help, that I'd already set up YouTube Kids and was checking Lily's history every day, but that I couldn't do it alone. She needed to be involved too. She agreed, apologizing and saying she should have been paying more attention. I told her it wasn't about blame, it was about fixing things going forward. We talked for another hour, making a plan. Mom would check Lily's devices once a week, I would check them daily, we'd set up parental controls on everything, and we'd have regular conversations with Lily about internet safety. It felt like too little, too late, but it was something. 3 months have passed since I first discovered what Lily was watching online, and it's been an ongoing battle. She still tries to get around the restrictions. She's figured out how to delete her watch history, so I can't see what she's been viewing. She's learned to use incognito mode. She's gotten better at hiding what she's doing, but I've gotten better at catching her too. I check her devices randomly at different times so she can't predict when I'll look. I've set up alerts that notify me when she tries to access certain websites. I've had countless conversations about why these rules exist, and slowly, gradually, I think it's working. She started coming to me when she sees something that makes her uncomfortable. She started asking permission before downloading apps or creating accounts. She started understanding that the internet isn't always a safe place. But I'm exhausted. I'm 17 years old, trying to finish high school, apply to colleges, work a part-time job, and somehow also be a parent to my little sister. It's not fair. It's not what I signed up for. But someone has to do it, and right now that someone is me. The more I've learned about internet safety, the more terrified I've become. I've read articles about how predators groom children online, how they start with innocent conversations, build trust, then slowly introduce inappropriate topics. I've read about how they manipulate kids into sending photos, into keeping secrets, into meeting in person. I've read about the algorithms that push increasingly extreme content to keep users engaged, about how a child watching innocent cartoons can end up watching disturbing content within a few clicks, about how platforms prioritize engagement over safety. I've read about the long-term effects of early exposure to inappropriate content, about how it can warp a child's understanding of relationships and consent, about how it can lead to anxiety and depression. And I've realized that Lily isn't unique. There are millions of kids out there watching content they shouldn't see, talking to people they shouldn't trust, putting themselves in danger without even knowing it. Their parents are busy or uninformed or overwhelmed. The platforms claim to have safety measures, but they're clearly not enough. The responsibility falls on kids themselves to navigate a digital world designed by and for adults. It's not fair, it's not right, and I don't know how to fix it. All I can do is protect my sister, one day at a time, one conversation at a time, one deleted video at a time. So here I am asking for help. How do I deal with my younger sister? How do I keep her safe in a world that seems designed to harm her? How do I teach her to be cautious without making her paranoid? How do I monitor her without invading her privacy? How do I be her brother and her protector and somehow also let her be a kid? I don't have all the answers. I'm figuring this out as I go, making mistakes, learning from them, trying to do better. But I know this, I won't give up. I won't stop checking her devices, having uncomfortable conversations, setting boundaries she doesn't like. Because her safety is more important than her happiness with me right now. Her future is more important than our relationship in this moment. Someday when she's older, maybe she'll understand. Maybe she'll thank me for being the annoying older brother who wouldn't let her do what she wanted online. Maybe she'll realize I was trying to protect her from dangers she couldn't see. Or maybe she'll resent me for it. Maybe she'll think I was controlling, overprotective, paranoid. Either way, I'll know I did everything I could, and that has to be enough. Last week, something happened that gave me hope. Lily came to me with her tablet and said someone had sent her a friend request on Roblox. They said they were a kid from her school, but she didn't recognize the name. She asked if she should accept it. My heart swelled with pride. I told her no, don't accept it. If you don't know them in real life, they're not a real friend.
She said that's what she thought. She just wanted to check.
I told her she did the right thing by asking me, and she smiled and ran off to play. It's not perfect. She still tries to bend the rules sometimes. She still watches things she shouldn't occasionally. She still doesn't fully understand all the dangers out there, but she's learning, and she's starting to trust me to help keep her safe. That's all I can ask for. So to anyone else out there dealing with a younger sibling or a child who's navigating the internet without proper guidance, don't give up. Keep having the conversations. Keep setting the boundaries. Keep checking the devices. It's exhausting, it's frustrating, it feels like a losing battle sometimes, but it's worth it. Because kids like Lily deserve to grow up safe. They deserve to have their innocence protected for as long as possible. They deserve adults who care enough to do the hard work of keeping them safe, even if that adult is just a 17-year-old kid doing his best.